Okay, so yeah, if you have any other questions, you can ask me later as well, but I think we might be running out of time a bit. So I'll just quickly go through Notion as well. So as you all know, Notion is basically a platform you can use for anything and everything. And it's like how I try to describe Notion is that it has the power of Microsoft Office, the design of Apple, but this connectivity of Google Drive, like Google Cloud. Like it's the perfect mix of all the things you want from all those three softwares to create this one thing. And probably since you all work in my, like you're all part of mymizu, you know Notion, but like I just wanted to give you some examples of how I use it personally and how we used it for the daily mizu project as well. So the first thing you do is you kind of have like your home screen, and this is very simple because I'm not such a designer, but there's some people who really like put effort into making it really pretty. So you can see I've posted some Notion template links here. You can check out other people's things as well, and you can actually just duplicate them. It's a very open community. But yeah, so if you have any study related materials, for example, I was studying Japanese, so like you can create like these different types of pages for notes. So for example, I had a speaking class, so like I would try to take notes and figure out how, like, just to remember, even if I don't go back at it. Like you can see that you can always have it or you can search it. Then when I was giving the JLPT, I wanted just one place to have all the links I would need when I'm practicing. So it's a really great way because you can embed documents as well, and you can put bookmarks. So it's like easily you can see, and you can like put YouTube videos or any type of media. So all my N4 resources were in one place. So it was really easy to find them rather than shuffling around different things. And then yeah, similarly Japanese class, like when I'm making notes I'm doing, but unfortunately I didn't have Notion when I was in college, and I really really wish I did. So those who will probably be going back to college or have brothers or sisters who are attending, definitely recommend it to them. Then one thing I really like to do is I like to write. So one thing you can do is kind of create like a writing log or like a writing like a kanban, where you can post in ideas of like what you want to write, and then you can see which ones you're writing right now and then which ones you have completed. So one interesting thing in Notion is that whenever you create one kind of oh wait, this is not the editable. One second. Yeah. So when you create any kinds of let's see. Yeah, you can, so you can create any like table, board, list, calendar, etc. But then the one good thing about it is that once you do create it, you can switch between any of them very easily, and I'll show it to you later. But yeah, so, and one thing you can do is you can tag them, and you can have multiple tags. So for example, if I had an idea like the theme was health, and then my priority was kind of right now. So this again helps because you can prioritize, and that's what I mentioned earlier, like prioritization is one of the philosophies. So you can like prioritize, and you can easily see like what kind of messages you want to put, so that you can do that. And then maybe I can show you my, so there's like a sample, but I can show you my actual writing dashboard. So it's kind of like I have a bunch of ideas here, and then some are like, so this is my backlog. And there's also how we manage products as well. So it's kind of, I just try to recreate that thing. But yeah, you have like backlog here, then these are the priorities, these are the ones I'm writing, and these are the ones I completed. So, and then one thing you could do is like, if you just want to see it very simply, you could just create like a list view, and then you can have it all like a list. You could also have it, if you could also have it as a, I don't know, like as a gallery. Maybe you want to add it as like images or something. So yeah, okay, let me go back to sample. Yeah, one other fun thing you could use it for is like, so I don't do it anymore, but like earlier I used to put my recipes on Notion as well. So you can create like recipe, and then you can have like, so when I was going to cook this for my friends, I was trying to figure out what are the ingredients I need, and then how much quantity, whether I have it already or not, whether I can go without it or not, blah blah blah. And yeah, and then here's the method. Like, so this is my personal recipe because after cooking a multiple times, I figured the best way for me to make it. So yeah, I just wrote it down and then these kind of things. So yeah, you could use it for recipes or like any other things as possible. And I actually have shared this in the like mymizu Notion, so you can copy it as well if you want, or you can cook it if you want as well. If there's any vegetarians, you can just put potato or some like other vegetables instead. So yeah, you could use it for fun things like cooking. One thing I used to use before I figured out money tree was actually used to make my budget planner on Notion. So you can use it as Excel, and you can like put in like these are just random amounts, but like you can try to calculate how much money you spent in a month, and like what was the category, was it income, outcome, and then here you can see like your final, how much money you currently have after like adding or subtracting what you did in a month. So again, if you feel like money tree is not for you, then you can just have a very simple one. um, and the reason I have it on Notion, not on Excel, is just because like I want all my stuff to be in the same place. A lot of people might have like Excel spreadsheets to do that. And actually this template itself, I found it online from someone else, and then I downloaded it and I tried to like mold it to my own needs. So there's like a lot of things you can do. And yeah, like for example, this is okay, never mind, sorry, that I removed. And then another thing you could do is like you could have a subscriptions tracker. So this also I found online, but this is really helpful because I have a lot of different subscriptions and it's really hard to keep track. So you can also see like how much money are you spending on these, whether it's monthly, yearly, what's it for, and whether it's active or not. So you could simply use it, and you could use it to track your subscriptions. So again, if I had to show you my let's see, my personal subscriptions dashboard, it's like really huge. So now you know why I need this kind of thing. So I really buy or like subscribe to a lot of apps and other things. So yeah, so that's why I kind of use it. But maybe you guys, for mymizu itself or for something, you might need some kind of reminder. Another interesting way I used it was when I was moving. So I had to like write down all my furniture and the height and weight, the dimensions for the moving company. And so I did that, and I also had like a product link so that they could easily see what it is. And it's helpful because now I'm selling my desk, and I don't have to measure it again. Like I have all the information here, so I can just, someone ask me like how wide is it, so I can just quickly send them the Rakuten link or like the dimensions from here. So you never know when it may come handy. Like it, I probably will never use this page again, but who knows? Maybe I will. And another thing is you could have like a plant database of in your house. So I have 3 plants, and then like I tried to see whether I can uh like keep them alive. So I have to like remember how many times I have to water them, and then like some notes. And I even have like image because I maybe cannot recognize the name from the picture. So this is just for like my later reason. So again, like you could use it for plants or your car, or I don't know, whatever furniture you have in your house, these kind of things. Finally, so this is kind of more life oriented. So one thing I really use Notion for is goal tracking, and journaling. So you could put your journal on Notion. So for example, if you have like a calendar here, so like you could create your journal entries and you could date them. And just for example, if I created another one here, like journal entry 2. So, and this is kind of more important. So this is what I did at the beginning of 2021. I created like a board similar to this, where I wrote like long-term goals I want to do with very general ones. So like, just for example, you could be like, oh, you want to get a promotion at work, or you want to release your own app. This is something I actually wrote down in 2021. For skills, you could write like learn coding, learn design, learn whatever. Hobbies could be very general, learn surfing, write a book. And health, fitness, yeah, you want to wake up early. So there's like super general. So there's like your long-term goal. And then what you want to do is you want to break it down to something you could achieve in like 1 month. So for example, this is my like monthly goal tracking. And here at the end of the month, after I review, I'll like write what are the major achievements from June, just so that you can look back and like maybe 2 years later you could look back and you could just see if you're having like a if you're feeling sad, you can just be like, oh, I did so many things, these kind of things. And then every month I have like I prioritize my goals. So for example, last month I prioritized fitness, and then within here I had like some things like, okay, I want to go to gym 3 times a week, or I want to practice like intermittent fasting. And like for education it was like, oh, study for JLPT or like do something like that. So I know that this month, whenever I feel bored or whenever I have time, these are the two things I've decided to focus on. So it kind of clears all the noise of all the other 50 other things that I could have been doing at this point. Then I have like sub priorities as well, because obviously I'll get bored doing these two things. So yeah, like for home, because I moved in last month, so like I'm like my priorities were setting up the house, and it was more detailed. There's just like I've created a more template sort of thing, but you can like set up your house, or like you can furnish, personalize. For work it was similar to launch hydration tracker, like my personal work goals. Self is like if you want to create morning routine or reach out to old friends, you could probably do that as well. And sometimes these are not a priority, so like you can just put them here and you don't have to worry about them. And at the end of the month I'll like come back and I'll put in my satisfaction, like how satisfied was it about my completion of the goal. And based on that, like I plan my next month, whether if I was not satisfied with it, maybe I need to work on it again, or like if I was not satisfied means maybe I'm not interested in it, so I like deprioritize it next month. So similarly, oops, okay, you could then do one for July. So like you have your goal one, goal two, goal three, and then you can like prioritize it. And then at the end of July, you can come back and see whether you actually did or not. So it's a way to keep yourself accountable. And for me, monthly goal planning really helps because I have a lot of things I want to do. So I get really overwhelmed if I don't choose what I really want to focus on that month itself. Ooh, okay. We're almost about to end. So let me go through the rest of the stuff. So projects. So yeah, actually here I can talk a little bit about Encore. So yeah, I released an app with my friends during that time. So this is how we actually ran it. So we had like a yeah. So we used like the we used the timeline function to like create how we want to like run the project. And we had like a project wiki, and I think mymizu also has similar stuff, so like user scenarios, wireframe and design, content, blah blah blah. And then we had like I was going to make a team page, but then it was just kind of we never got to it. And if you have any public pages, then you can like, for example, you can download Encore stickers. So we created this Notion page and we just shared it naturally, like we just shared it globally to everyone, how you can do it. So yeah, so basically we used it for our project as well. So it's not just personal, you can use it for projects. And finally, one more thing you can do is you can have like travel. So for example, when I'm in Japan, I have like a bunch many different places I want to visit. So I kind of have a Kanban for that as well. So like where I want to go, um, like near Tokyo in Tohoku. And then when I finish it, I'll just like mark it when, so that I kind of don't get overwhelmed by so many places I want to go, because I have like selected which ones I do. And what else you could also do? Yeah, like you could store like like lists. Like for example, I see all these list articles like 11 of the best places to go glamping, but I'll never be able to find it again. So I just store them. If I ever need inspiration for travel, like I'll just go back to this list and kind of look into it. Who okay. Yeah, so that's it. And then yeah, I posted some random memes as well. So like, because you could really go deep into Notion and then get lost. So my simple recommendation is start using it for things that you really need, and then see how you can enhance it. You don't have to make your whole dashboard in one day. Start slowly, like one by one, and find templates online so that you can just like reuse them, because they'll tell you what use cases you can use them for. And I'll just take 5 more minutes. We have another meeting, but I think all the meeting members are already here. So I'll just take one quick um like I'll oh 1 second. Yeah, I want to show you how we used it to do the daily tracker project, daily hydration project. Yeah. So when we started, it was empty. Basically, we had just written, like we just had this picture up and we just had these things like what are our product vision, what are our goals, and key metrics. Actually, that reminds me, once the final update is released, we should come back and look whether we actually achieved all of them or not. But yeah, so again, everything related to hydration tracker is in this one page, which is really easy because we had so many people working on it together. So it was really easy to find and share documents. So initially I had created this calendar view, and then we had marked like our schedule. And then once the schedule was marked, we switched to a list view so that we could see easily who is responsible, what are the dates, what's happening. And then if you go deeper inside each of these, not each, but like some of them have more detailed stuff, like more kanbans inside, links. This was when we did our user survey. So all our user survey information is here. So even later we want to come back and look into it, we can. Even the templates are here as well. um, More specifically, this is a very important page because this is our product spec. So as you can see here, we have like we all the information regarding our product is in here, like, and it's very very detailed. So you can, even if you're interested to just read about what is the logic behind half of the apps, like you can see here. And we all like send this to the developers, to Neem, to Annie, Mariko. Everyone was like doing these pages as well. So yeah, I would actually, if you're interested, I would interested in how like app development happens, you can just go into this dashboard and like explore. Okay, what else? Let's see. Yeah, and then we had like um, you know, like when we did marketing, then we deeper into the marketing. So whenever I had any ideas, I just used to add them here. And then later when we had our marketing meeting, like Mariko was easily able to find this information and then share it with the team. Similarly, when we wanted to do bug testing, we all these are bugs, like we all have them marked here, so I can just go back and do it later. I even forgot. Yeah, so like for copy, we have all our stuff here as well, meeting notes, etc. So basically, if you keep everything organized in one place, it's very easy to find them. Otherwise, if we had half the stuff in Google Drive, half the stuff in Notes app, half the stuff in just like meeting minutes, it's really hard to like yeah, simply like keep it all together. And yeah, so this is how we used it for projects. So yeah, basically moral of the story is you can use Notion for anything and everything. It's just you have to find the use case that works for you best, and use it to just store all the information, even if you don't need it for later, because you never know, you may actually just need it, or you want to look back one day on a casual Saturday and just look into your past. You know, it can be like it can be like a like view into your past self as well. So yeah, that's it for today's session. Who it was like a long talk.